In no way was I going to throw more money into school that's making me miserable, kind of. I sometimes enjoyed school though. Everyone was just like, oh, you're just a baby, like, why are you starting now? But no, get my butt out of school in 3 years. And there are some things you have to sacrifice and some things you have to prioritize. I did not come into UCLA with the advantage of having a ton of AP credits. In fact, I had none. Let me quickly show you guys my transcript from UCLA so you know how many classes I took and how well I did. Hi friends, what is up? It's Zoe here. So welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be making a video that's highly requested after my UCLA pros and cons video. So if you haven't watched that, be sure to check it out. But today's video is going to be about how I was able to graduate UCLA in 3 years with a major, a minor, a 3.95 GPA, and a job. Yes, all in 3 years. If I could do it, you can do it too. So if you're curious about how I was able to graduate UCLA in 3 years with a major, minor, a 3.95 GPA, and a job, be sure to watch till the end so that you reap the full benefits of this video and learn all the tips and tricks that might help you achieve this goal. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see here, this is my beautiful diploma from UCLA that I earned in 3 years that may or may not have cost me more than $200,000. All I can say is that this was one goddamn expensive piece of paper and took me a lot of tons of hard work to get. So is it worth it? I don't know. But am I happy that I got it? Yes. Honestly, aside from the fact that I wasn't really a big fan of school and just wanted to get out of school quickly, I also thought that the tuition for international students is so high, like ridiculous. And yeah, that kind of made up my motivation and determination to graduate early. So before I share my experience and some tips that will help you reach your goal in graduating early, by no means is this like a competition. Everyone has your own pace of studying and learning, and I definitely think that even though I was happy that I was able to graduate in 3 years, I'm definitely missing out like a year full of college experience, which could be pretty nice. Now that I am working 9 to 9 and sometimes till 1 and adulting, yeah, life could get harder after college, believe it or not, but that's for another time. So before we jump into the details, I just wanted to quickly disclaim that my major was business economics and minor was accounting in UCLA, and depending on your major, you might not even be able to graduate with one major like in 4 years. That's just how it is. Like if you're doing computer science, your major could be completely different from mine, and you'll just need more classes, which is probably why your salary will be like double of mine after graduation. So it's all worth it. But on the other hand, I do not have the brains to study computer science, so I stuck with business economics and decided to get my butt out of school in 3 years. How I was able to achieve everything in 3 years has to really come down to planning. It's not just like an idea that spontaneously popped up in my head and be like, ooh, it's my junior year and I kind of want to graduate this year. Like, no, I had this idea ever since orientation at UCLA. Like before I even started college, I was like, I'm going to graduate in 3 years, because during orientation, what I realized that my major, business economics at UCLA, does not require so many courses, and even our advisor was like, yeah, a lot of people can do it in 3 years or like in 4 years with a minor. I was like, I'm gonna do it in 3 years, and I'm going to do it with a minor as well. And obviously it's not the easiest thing to do because given the quarter system at UCLA, classes are more so crammed into 10 weeks, which means like you'll have to study harder and take more classes per quarter. But for me, I thought it's worth a shot to challenge myself. So even though most people at UCLA take around 3 classes per quarter, I've never taken less than 4 classes every quarter. ever since freshman year in college, except for the first quarter. One quarter, like my last quarter, I actually took 5 classes. That's 5 classes in 10 weeks. For semester kids, like that might seem like nothing, but it's for quarter kids, 5 classes, you're insane. But on the other hand, I knew like some friends who are in neuroscience or math, they take 6 classes. So you'll never know. There are a lot of crazy people out there, but like definitely go with the right amount of courses that you can handle. I would say to experiment the course load first. Maybe don't do it during your first quarter at UCLA, but do it like during your second quarter or something when you're kind of familiarized with the college experience. Then you can start to add more course loads and see if the quantity of classes impacts the quality of your grades. I actually got my very first straight A ever, like in my life. I've never gotten straight A's before in high school, in elementary school, ever. And I got my first straight A in college when I first started taking 4 classes. Like crazy but true. Ever since that happened, that kind of really like motivated me to continue down the path and start taking more classes while having the confidence that I could still be able to perform well in these classes. And since we're talking about planning here, let me quickly show you guys my transcript from UCLA so you know how many classes I took and how well I did. So fall quarter 2016, I took 3 classes. Winter quarter 2017, 4 classes. And then from then on, I took like 4 classes again. And then I took a summer session for my major classes, like Econ 11 and 41. Usually summer classes are shorter, they're like 5 weeks, so just taking 2 like really heavy loaded classes was kind of like a crazy experience, and I died a little, but it definitely helped me get these classes out of the way. And you have to definitely consider the fact that some of these classes aren't offered every quarter, depending on your school, but for UCLA that's the case, which is why you have to plan ahead to see like when do you need the classes you need to take and when does your school offer them. And I would definitely advise anyone who goes to UCLA to talk to your academic counselor and kind of make a plan with them and ask them if it's feasible to get all the credits that you need within the time limit that you're setting. Continuing, we have fall quarter, so that was my sophomore year, 2017. I took 4 classes again, and then winter quarter 2018, 4 classes. And spring quarter 2018, 4 classes again. By this time, I was already pretty much ahead. I was taking business writing, which is English Comp 131B, that usually a lot of seniors take, and I was only a sophomore at the time, so like I was the youngest one in my class, and I was surrounded with juniors and seniors, and they were all like really surprised to see me in that class, and they were like, how are you able to do that? Because there are a lot of course restrictions that you'll only be able to take certain classes after you complete like lower division classes. At least that's the case for UCLA. For me, I really optimize my time to make sure that I get those prerequisites out of the way ASAP, and that's kind of what I did during my summer session in 2017. And I definitely think that it helped me move along the system of like prereqs to lower divs to upper divs so much quickly. And I would definitely recommend you to take summer courses if circumstances allow. Now where are we? Oh yeah, and then for summer 2018, I actually didn't take a class. Like it didn't count towards my major or anything, but because I'm an international student, whenever I do an internship, it's so gross. I have to take an internship class and contribute more tuition to the school. Yeah, which further solidified my motivation to graduate earlier. Like in no way was I going to throw more money into school that's making me miserable. Kind of. I sometimes enjoyed school though. So fall quarter 2018, which was my junior year fall quarter, I took 4 classes with the lab, so that's kind of like 5 classes. And afterwards, winter quarter 2019, I took 4 classes with another lab, and my very last quarter at UCLA, spring quarter 2019. Man, that was kind of like a rough quarter because I had 5 classes with a lab. And one way that I kind of self-helped myself is to take 2 of those classes, pass no pass, and that really like relieved a lot of my time, so I don't have to like stress so much about achieving good grades to maintain my GPA balance so that I won't fall off the list for Summa Cum Laude. So yeah, in terms of summer school, I wouldn't say it's essential because if you look at my course schedule, winter quarter 2018, I took an intro to programming, which is completely irrelevant to my major and it's not even a general education requirement. And in winter quarter 2018, I also took an acting fundamentals class that like is obviously irrelevant to my major and general education requirements as well. And sadly, I got an A-, which negatively impacted my GPA, like, excuse me. But anywho, what I wanted to say is that even though I had a lot of pressure to graduate early and take a lot of my course requirements in a short period of time, I was still able to take classes that interest me, but do not really count for any credit requirements. And it's totally still doable in 3 years because, at least for my major, because my major did not require that many classes. And I think that my business economics major in combination with the accounting minor is a pretty good combination because the business economics major required a few accounting courses already. So if you combine the 2 together, you only needed to take like 4 additional or 5 additional classes for the minor. So I was like, what a steal, let me just do it and might as well like expand my knowledge base. And what do you know, now I'm working for a Big 4. So never overlook the importance of the classes that might interest you or your minor. They might open more doors for you than you'll ever know. A good tip for UCLA specific students to graduate early, I'm not sure if this applies to other schools, but I took a GE cluster, which is a cluster of general education courses that knocks a lot of your GEs out of the way and knocks out of your writing 2 requirements immediately. So even though like it's a consecutive course that runs throughout your entire freshman year in college, I say it's pretty worth it. And I took the GE cluster called Biotechnology and Society, which talked about like genes and new biotechs, which was really cool. It's completely irrelevant for my major, but it knocked out a lot of GEs for me, so I don't have to like take a lot of the classes in order to graduate. Because in order to graduate in UCLA, at least, you have to pass all these like language requirements, writing requirements, general education requirements, and your major and minor requirements. So when you're planning your courses, definitely think of a way to most efficiently pass all these requirements with the least amount of courses. And for me, like a GE cluster hit the perfect spot. I did not come into UCLA with the advantage of having a ton of AP credits. In fact, I had none. I took IB in high school because I'm from Canada. I had to take all courses from scratch, and funny enough, I've never taken an accounting or econ class prior to college, so this is all new to me. So hopefully that gives you a confidence booster if you already have a lot of AP credits. And in terms of my internship and jobs, I was able to have an internship for my summers ever since freshman year in college. In fact, I did many internships throughout my college experience, and sometimes even like during the quarter. I actually did like 20 hours of internship during my spring quarter 2018, which was crazy because that was a quarter that I took 4 classes. But anywho, I think time management is definitely key to graduating early, and you'll definitely have to say no and reject a lot of fun opportunities in order to focus on your studies and to focus on the schedule that you set for yourself. And obviously don't overlook the importance of extracurricular activities. Even though I was pretty much packed with course schedules throughout college, I was still active in dance. I was still active in Beta Alpha Psi, which is an accounting honor society, which actually exposed me to opportunities to Big Fours, which is why I was able to secure like an internship and a full-time job basically at the summer of my sophomore year. If you're interested in how to secure internships, how to find internships, how to get internships, and how to get internships early on in your college experience, I could definitely make a video on that. And I think it was definitely a struggle for me at first. Planning ahead has always been in my nature, and I've been starting to look for internships since my freshman year, when everyone was just like, oh, you're just a baby, like why are you starting now? But no, starting early is the key to the game, to anything, honestly. Like, in terms of graduating early, starting early, planning ahead is definitely key. Like, it's not something that you could do last minute. Finding an internship, finding a job, securing a job, start early. Even though no one around you may be starting early, or everyone around you might be telling you like, you're crazy, why are you doing this so early on? Like, who cares? It's your life. Take some initiatives and you'll get amazing results. So I think a big takeaway from me is to take the initiative and own your schedule, own your plan, and own your goals. Doesn't matter if you want to graduate in 3 years or 2.5 years. Doesn't matter if you just want to graduate a quarter early. If you're serious about this goal, then set this goal up, create a plan, and follow through that plan. Obviously, like, try to be more reasonable and consider the impacts on your social life as well as your extracurriculars. But from my experience, at least with a business economics major and an accounting minor, it's definitely doable in 3 years, and it's definitely doable in 3 years with a high GPA and a job secured. So to wrap things up, like, my biggest advice for you is to start the first quarter or semester of your school year a little easier, just so you can accommodate to the new environment and the teaching style of your college, and then kind of go from there. Start adding more classes to see if you can take them and to see if they would impact your grades. If you think that you're able to handle them, then by no means like stop yourself at a limit, because we are all more capable than we imagine ourselves to be. Like, when I told my counselors about graduating in 3 years with a major and minor, they were all really skeptical. And when I told my parents and my family, they told me,
just take your time more easily, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
But for me, when something becomes a goal and becomes a possibility in my mind, I just have the urge to accomplish it and to overcome any challenges that come up throughout the way. And I think that's just within my nature. And if you're determined to graduate early for whatever reason, I full on support you. And like, honestly, it is your life, so take control of it. Like, don't care about what other people are questioning about you or are saying to you. Like, if you want to get something done, then get it done. It could get hard, and yes, it's hard to manage your time and to say no to all the fun events, but at the end of the day, prioritization is key to time management. And if you want to graduate in 3 years or just earlier than everybody else, then there are some things you have to sacrifice and some things you have to prioritize. With that, I want to conclude today's video. Sorry, it's kind of a little bit of rambling on and on, but there are honestly like so many things that impact graduating early and graduating early with a good grade and a job secure. So I was just trying to touch on things that really stood out to me throughout this experience. Obviously, there are a lot of things I was doing behind the scenes in order to achieve this, and I am very proud of myself to be able to do this. But I just wanted to share my main focus on how I was able to achieve it from a high level, and hopefully that helps you in graduating early. Let me know if you have any more questions or concerns by leaving the comments down below, and hope today's video is helpful to anyone who wants to graduate early. And thanks so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck on your academic academic journeys. That's it for me. See you guys next week. Bye!
This is the end.